Joining us now is Annie Roseen, the BoldChoice Theater Director and Arts Program Coordinator at Choice Unlimited. Annie, thank you so very much for being here with us. How important is this award in raising awareness in the community about the value of being inclusive?
Well, the work is our most important goal, but it is nice to get recognized. It helps get the word out and have people recognize our names. So when they think of who's doing what in the community, they think of us. Mm-hmm. So we were just saying that actors love recognition. So during this time, we all need a little boost. So it was nice to get an award.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. For people who might not be familiar with Choice Unlimited, mm-hmm. talk a little bit about what it does in addition to the theater program.
Well, primarily it's an employment agency in that it helps folks find and support them in employment. So it's a day program, so folks with disabilities or people who might be facing some barriers get assistance from Choice Unlimited in job development and job seeking, and so they find careers and jobs, and then when they're not working, we fill out their day with what they wish to fill out their day with. So if that's arts or volunteering or physical exercise or going out to coffee or whatever all of us do.
Annie, how does acting help in all of that?
Well, acting helps in all of that in that I think that it's a way to express yourself. It's a way to feel included in a group. It's also a way to be looked up to.
Gain confidence?
Definitely gaining confidence. I mean, we've had audiences of thousands clapping, so who doesn't feel good after that? But even when we aren't, we do acting classes too, so smaller scale. I think just having a goal and reaching it, and a creative goal that they helped develop, and then performing it and getting feedback. I think it's good.
Sure.
It's good for that.
You mentioned a crowd of 1,000 clapping. Generally, what kind of reaction do you get, though, from the audience when you talk to them afterward?
Mm-hmm. We get wonderful reactions afterwards. I think for a lot of folks that come to the play, they're familiar with some of the actors, friends and family. That's what a lot of theater goers end up being, especially in small local theaters. But also people who came because they heard about it or the subject matter interested them. And some people are surprised. I think people sometimes have different expectations of folks with disabilities. I think usually what is a success for us is if they leave moved and entertained, just like any other theater company would want their audiences to feel.
So what are you currently working on or even performing?
Well, pre-pandemic, we were touring our most recent show, which is called Bloom, and that was an original show. All our plays are original that we create from the ground up. So we have about a year's time of creating a play, what we want to say, what kind of characters fit with that storyline. And we'd been touring it for about, I think, maybe 7 months to local schools and organizations and conferences, and then mid-tour is when the pandemic hit, and so we are just on hold for that play, and we hope to do a few more performances, including a public performance, so it would be open to everyone in the community. And then since then, we had to be creative, which is our job, and so we went from a once-a-week 30-person cast to a 4 times a week 5-person-ish, 6-person-ish cast, and we decided that we have to be in Zoom, so we're looking at each other in the little screens, and we created 5 original new plays that take place in a Zoom setting. So just one example is a group of people who are all connecting that used to be in a rock band, and now 20 years later they're trying to discuss if they should go back on tour, and they're all in the Zoom room in character. So we have 5 different one of those. So it's been a wild
Now, can members of the public peek in on these Zoom performances?
Yeah, well, not during rehearsal, but we're going to start recording and editing them next week, and then we are going to share them. We'll put them on either a YouTube or a Vimeo or something, so they can be shared, and we will put it on our Facebook. So there's a Choice Unlimited Facebook page, and there's also a BoldChoice Theater Facebook page. So we'll do the connections there so you can see them.
Mm-hmm. Andy, can you speak to us about how empowering this might be for those who are taking part?
Yeah, I think that really any kind of activity that starts to help you develop an identity of your own, one that you are kind of the author for, is empowering. I think that a lot of folks with disabilities end up working or being in settings where they are being helped, or they are maybe have an entry-level type job, but in the arts they can really be self-determining. I don't know if that's a word. And they can decide for themselves, do they consider themselves an artist? And I think being able to identify yourself as a title is empowering for all of us. So.
And how important is it just for inclusion for those who are in the disability community?
Yeah, well, I think that it opens a door to the audience members to see folks with disabilities. If they're not familiar with that part of the community, it just familiarizes themselves. So the next time they work with somebody, or have someone in their family, or have a friend, or have somebody over for dinner, if they have a disability, it might not seem daunting that there's this wall of a difference. So it's very important for inclusion.
It sounds like you've also been doing some challenging human rights challenges.
Yeah, well, BoldChoice does have a kind of a twofold approach. We want to be entertaining and good theater, but we also want to address advocacy issues, self-advocacy issues, and ally issues for the disability community.
All right, Annie, Roseen, thank you so very much for being with us.
Yeah.
All the best.
Yeah, thank you.